Jesus, now reckoned at 4 BCE. In the Visigothic calendar, years were counted from 38 BCE, the beginning of formal Roman dominion over Hispania. Known as the Spanish era, this was phased out between the 12th and 14th centuries in favor of the Julian calendar, which reckoned from the time of Christ, AD, or Anno Domini, in the year of our Lord. In early Catalonia, dates sometimes use the old Roman reckoning of the indiction or the regnal years of Holy Roman emperors. Using the Julian system, the new year was often counted from March 25th, the presumed date of Jesus' conception, until January 1st, eventually returned as the standard. The Hijri, or Islamic calendar AH, has a year of 12 lunar months counted from July 16th, 622 CE, which is the date associated with Muhammad's departure for Medina, the Hijra, and is held to mark the foundation of the Muslim Ummah. Because the Hijri year is shorter than the solar year, they do not exactly coincide. Therefore, unless a definite single date is referred to, one Hijri year is usually indicated as spanning two common era years. For example, 720 AH is 1320 and 1321 CE. It was not uncommon for Muslims in formerly Christian-ruled lands to also use the Christian calendar, particularly in contexts relating to agriculture, given that it consistently corresponded to the seasons. Introduction. The front line of a clash of civilizations, a foreign incursion on European soil, the theater of Reconquista, Crusade, and Holy War, or a land of multi-religious tolerance and convivencia, the history of Islamic Spain has been recounted many times in many ways. Typically, the narrative begins with the arrival of the commander Tariq ibn Ziyad on the shores of Christian Spain in the year 711 and his dramatic defeat of its Visigothic rulers. Under the rule of Arab Umayyads, al-Andalus, Islamic Spain, blossoms. In this period, Muslims, Christians, and Jews live here in concord, turning al-Andalus into a cosmopolitan Arabo-Islamic society and making Córdoba the ornament of the world, a magnet for scholars and scientists, and a model of cosmopolitan enlightenment. Shortly after 1000, the empire collapses and al-Andalus is fought over by crusading Christians seeking to reconquer Spain and by puritanical Berbers who persecute Christians and Jews. As the Christians triumph, the Muslims are corralled in the Kingdom of Granada, the final enclave of Islam in Spain. This endures until 1492, when the Catholic kings Fernando and Isabel conquer it, sending its defeated king Boabdil into exile, bringing to a close the history of al-Andalus and ushering in an age of intolerant oppression. What almost all these histories share is the presumption that religion was at the heart of this history, that the Muslim and Christian principalities engaged in a contest defined by their religious identity and ideology. Christianity, Judaism, and Islam are seen as protagonists in an operatic history, battling it out on the stage of the centuries. Reinforcing their supposed civilizational differences, Christians and Jews are presented as Europeans and Muslims as foreign Moors. It is a perspective that invites nostalgia and moralizing, and it is appealing precisely because of its melodramatic oversimplifications. But, as history, it has serious limitations. First, the roots of Islamic Spain must be sought not in 711 or even 622 when Muhammad struck out from Mecca, but in the broader world of the Mediterranean of late antiquity, of crumbling empires and encroaching barbarians. This was an era when Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, each diverse and divided, were only beginning the gradual processes of self-definition, processes in which they remained very much entwined. Nor can the end of Islamic Spain be pegged to January 1, 1492, when Boabdil handed over the keys of the Alhambra to Fernando and Isabel. Hundreds of thousands of Muslims remained in Spain until 1614, suffering discrimination, forced conversion, and eventually expulsion. As for the Muslim conquest of al-Andalus, it was not part of a deliberate campaign of world domination and holy war. Its causes were complex and spontaneous, and it was driven as much by opportunity as by ideology. Likewise, the ideas